Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The Southern Poverty Law Center points to hundreds of occurrences of hate crimes since Election Day. In an interview with 60 Minutes, Trump responded to the acts by asking those committing the acts to stop it. Indiana does not have any laws prohibiting hate crimes. As J.D. Gray reports, communities throughout the state are active in standing up against the acts.
If I move someplace and people only behave because the law is in place, I don't want to live there. I want to move to a place where generally people just don't care what you're doing as long as you're paying your taxes and, abiding by the basic laws of civilized society.
This isn't how Evelyn Steyer planned to spend her Thursday afternoon. She's using red paint to cover up hateful messages spray painted on her shed.
Swastikas, a burning cross, derogatory profanity against LGBT, pro-specific political leaders on there.
Steyer lives in Olytic with her wife. She calls it a quiet community where people usually keep to themselves.
It doesn't really matter what the individual candidate supports. The fact is these people have heard a message and become a rallying cry for their specific groups.
There have been other similar cases this week. In Bean Blossom, black spray paint covers one of the outside walls of St. David's Episcopal Church.
Sunday morning, I was getting ready for church, and my organist gave me a call because he was the first one here and he saw the vandalism.
Hito called the police.
When I arrived, I saw the messages on the wall.
A swastika, an epithet, and the words, "Hail Trump." Hito says at first she was in disbelief.
But then the second thought, and one that I like to focus on the most, is the fact that we were targeted for a reason, that we're doing something right.
Vandals spray-painted swastikas last week along Bloomington's Beeline Trail. The mayor called the act upsetting and disturbing. In response to potentially stricter immigration rules, Mayor Hamilton said he would consider taking on a leadership role in making Bloomington a sanctuary city, one that shelters those living in the country illegally.
I certainly believe Bloomington ought to be in that front vanguard, protecting against inappropriate tearing families apart.
It's something students at Indiana University are seeking as well. Students walked out of their classes on Wednesday in hopes that the university would adopt a sanctuary status. It was not the first rally on campus since the election. Earlier in the week, the Indiana Recovery Alliance held a rally in the same location.
This is what democracy looks like.
It featured speakers from social service providers such as the Shalom Center and Mother Hubbard's Cupboard.
Symbols are what you make them. We could be embarrassed, we could be angry that these symbols are on our church. But what we're making of these symbols is that we're doing something right, and it shows that we are welcoming an inclusive place.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm J.D. Gray.
Now, Steyer is going to spend the winter doing maintenance on her home. She and her wife plan to move in the spring. Former Congressman Lee Hamilton says representative democracy is facing a test in the United States. He spoke this week on the campus of Indiana University. Hamilton says people's view on the election should not change their responsibilities as citizens.
You owe this country something. The country makes a wager on you, every single one of us. It says we're going to give you freedom, we're going to give you liberty, and we want something in return. We want you to be a responsible citizen.
He says he's concerned about the drift of power to the executive branch of government.